My name is Abby Dorn. I'm a registered yoga teacher, and I'm happy to offer you a gentle reclined yoga practice today that will facilitate relaxation and help to ease tension through the entire back body, especially the lower back and the hips. Yoga is a practice of body, mind, spirit connection. It is meant to be a time for you to be connected with yourself and honoring yourself just as you are. It is a completely individualized practice, so you're only meant to do the things that feel helpful to you today. You should never do anything that feels painful or uncomfortable. So please feel free to skip or add or change anything and make this your own practice to nurture and connect with yourself. We'll start lying down on the back. You can lie with your legs bent or straight, or you could have a small cushion or rolled up blanket under your knees if you'd like just a slight bend. You may also decide you need a gentle prop underneath your head. It could be a small cushion, again, or a rolled up towel or blanket under your head so that you feel comfortable in your neck and your shoulders. You can choose to close your eyes, or you could gaze at one spot on the ceiling. And then we begin to invite the mind into a state of receptivity, and we ask the mind to tune in to the body and to the breath. And so start by just observing the sensations that you notice in your body. Notice the places that are contacting your mat or your props. Notice the feeling of the air around you. As you start to tune your mind into your body, you might become aware of places of tension or soreness in the body. And there may be places of tension that you observe and doesn't feel like you can make a change to that area right now, so we stay very compassionate toward those places that we observe. But you might also notice from giving your attention to your body that you recognize places of tension that once you become aware of them, you are able to release a bit. So it's a great idea to scan through the body and check and see where are you holding tension, where you might be able to relax. Notice the space between your eyebrows, for example, the muscles around the eyes. Notice the jaw. The hinge of the jaw starts right in front of the ears. So letting go of tension as much as possible from the hinge of the jaw all the way down to the chin. Notice the root of the tongue and the throat. Notice the muscles around the base of the skull. Notice the whole neck. Notice the shoulders. Notice the upper chest and the upper back. Notice the upper belly and the middle back, and the lower belly and the lower back. And notice the hips, even the arms and the legs, the hands and the feet, becoming aware of your entire body. And then become aware of the breath movement through the body. Just start to observe your natural breath. Your breath is an autonomic bodily function, so it goes along your whole life long, whether you pay attention to it with your conscious mind or not. So it's very nice for the mind to just observe the breath and be a witness to the innate wisdom of your body. And noticing the movement created by the breath, noticing where you feel the movement. Notice the different experience of inhaling and then of exhaling. Think about your body listening to your breath. And observe that as you inhale, your breath is asking for your receptivity. It's asking your body to allow expansion, to soften open. As you exhale, the breath invites the body to release. The diaphragm relaxes, and there may be a corresponding letting go of tension that could happen through the rest of the body. So from giving your attention to your body's experience of your breath, you might start to notice your body becoming a bit more responsive to the breath, opening up more on the inhales, letting go more on the exhales. And then in addition to that, you can give your breath the idea that it could start to slow down. So now as we're really tuning into the breath and the body's experience of it, as we're giving the breath this invitation to slow, we're beginning to practice this very special privilege we have with the breath, which is the only autonomic bodily function that we can choose to voluntarily change. So it's really can be quite a profound experience of the body and the mind mutually participating with the breath. So start to invite that slower breath, only as comfortable as, as slow as feels comfortable to you. It's really important that you meet yourself where you are in this practice. So just one breath at a time, starting to slow the breath down, intending to listen to the breath with the whole body. Notice that the breath moves in all directions. So the inhale expands you up and down, front and back, left and right. And so you may start to eventually feel expansion or movement with each breath in the upper chest and the lower belly, in the upper, middle, and lower back. Maybe you can feel the side ribs and the sides of your waist breathing, receiving, and releasing with each breath. Maybe you can even start to feel the shoulders and the hips responding to the breath. Eventually, as the breath gets to a comfortably slow, full place for you, you might even feel like your neck and your face and your arms and your legs even are receiving on inhale and releasing on exhale. So eventually we have a sense of the whole body participating with each part of each breath. So continue to maintain a comfortably slow and full breaths, and to maintain an intention there to be listening to the breath with the whole body. And then let's just start to explore a little bit of movement by wiggling the fingers and the toes, and by moving the head a little side to side. Maybe roll the wrists around. If it feels comfortable to stretch the legs out, you could stretch the legs out and roll the ankles around. And then when you feel ready, we'll take an arms overhead stretch, lengthening the arms over the head. And you might arch the back just a bit here. Might feel good to bend just slightly to one side, getting a little longer on one side. Taking a breath there. And then you could switch and lengthen the other side. Staying connected to your breath the whole time. And when you're ready, gently bring your arms down, bend your knees, putting your feet flat on the floor, and sway the knees side to side to release tension in the lower back. And we'll start with Apanasana, which is the right knee hugging up into the belly, and then the left leg could straighten out, or you could keep that left knee bent. Relax shoulders and neck. Breathe all the way down into your low belly here. This pose is for digestion, so it's great to massage the digestive organs, and it also helps to direct breath into your low back and your hips. Relax the shoulders and neck. Feel the breath through the whole body. And then slowly switch. Bring the left knee up and in. Right leg could be straight or bent. Shoulders stay relaxed even though the arms are at work. You're gently hugging that left leg up against the belly, enjoying the breath movement all the way down into the crease of the left hip, feeling the breath in the lower back, receiving and releasing with each breath. And when you feel complete with this, let's stretch the legs out and the arms overhead again. Maybe gentle arch in the back to warm up the back body. And then bringing the arms back down, we'll bring the right leg back into the hands. Let's take the right knee up against the belly again, and then slightly to the right. So it's just a little bit to the right, kind of like you want your right knee to hug towards your armpit, not going way out to the side, but just slightly to the side. You might keep the knee bent and just gently hug there, ceiling to floor, creating a grounded sensation through the backs of your hips. If you feel you could go further, you can use your right hand on your right foot, or you could use a strap or a belt or a scarf here to hold the foot. Your left hand could stay on your left hip. And we lift that right leg up till we get to about 90-degree bend in the knee. It's not a straight leg pose. It's still bent, just not bent all the way. We should still feel a nice grounded sensation through the back of the right hip. And if it feels interesting to you, you might explore going straighter and or further out to the side, but don't feel that you need to. And just see what feels helpful to you today. You might move around a little bit. You might just find a great spot and pause and breathe there. So gently stretching the inner thigh and the hamstrings here, and then releasing the back of the right hip and the low back on the right side. When you feel complete with that, put the feet down in a symmetrical resting position. Nice to take a moment of observation and just notice the differences you can feel left and right. And then we'll do the half happy baby on the left side. So we'll bring the left knee up. Right leg could be straight or bent. Left knee hugs against the belly and then slightly to the left. Maybe you just stay here and gently hug that leg toward the floor to smush the hip against the mat. I feel a nice sense of release in the SI area there where your low back and your hip meet up on the left side. You could just stay there, or you could use that left hand to lift the left foot into the half happy baby pose. Maybe the right hand stays on the hip. You're coming to about 90 degrees in the knee, or might be a little more bent than that. And this creates a nice gentle release for the left hip and the left side of the low back. It's gently stretching the front of your right hip as well if your right leg is straight, or again, you can be working with the right knee bent. You may also get inner thigh and hamstring stretch here, and if you desire more of that, you could go further out to the side and or straighter, again, just depending on your body. And it might feel good to explore a little movement and just tune in to see what feels especially helpful to you and your body right now. Staying connected to your own inhale and exhale the whole time. When you feel complete with this, put the feet down in a symmetrical resting position and pause. We'll do a little more stretching for the right side now. So bring that right leg back in. Now we'll take the hands behind the right thigh. Left leg again could be straight or bent. Create a little bit of gentle pressure between your right thigh and your hands, and then stretch that leg towards straight. Does not have to straighten all the way. Just go only as straight as feels comfortable to you. You can draw that leg toward you a bit more to go deeper with the stretch. Keep the shoulders soft. Isometrically tone the muscles in the front of the leg, engaging the shin muscle and the quadriceps. And then take that right leg just a little to the left, keeping the right hip down. We go a little across the midline to stretch the outer leg. And it might feel good here to play with moving your ankle around a few times in each direction. And you could tip or pause anywhere that feels interesting to your own ankle and leg. And when you feel complete with this stretch, slowly come back to a symmetrical resting position. Pause and observe. And then let's do that much on the left side. So we'll have the left thigh into the hands, right leg bent or straight, gentle pressure between the left thigh and the hands, and then stretch that leg and just towards straight. Don't worry if it's not all the way straight. For most of us, it won't be. You might decide you need to draw it closer toward you to go a little deeper with the stretch. Keep the shoulders relaxed, keep the left hip grounded, and then go across the midline to your right just a little. Stay present with your breath. You can add more isometric tone in the front of the leg to go a little deeper with the stretch in the back of the leg. And it might feel good to play with circling the ankle a few times in each direction. Or maybe you just find interesting positions, tip to the right, for example, to stretch the outer leg a little more. So you can play around, see what feels helpful to you. When you feel complete, come back to neutral and rest and relax for a moment. Let's have the knees bent and the feet flat on the floor. Hands could be resting on the belly here. Do a little isometric toning of the transverse abdominis and then some freeing up and strengthening also for the back. So start by relaxing belly on inhales, and as you exhale, notice there's a natural movement of the belly falling back toward the spine. When that movement is occurring, you could start to complement what's already happening by hugging the belly toward the spine as you exhale, and then relax the belly on the inhales. Let it expand against the hands, and then exhale, hug belly toward spine. In addition to feeling the belly move toward the spine, you might feel a drawing upward from your pubic bone toward your navel, and you might feel your hip bones narrowing toward the midline. Those are all actions of the transversus. So you're relaxing the belly on inhale. As you exhale, hug belly toward spine, pubic bone toward navel, hip bones toward the midline. And you might feel also your pelvic floor lifting in and up there at the base of your torso. Relaxing on inhales, exhales emptying out. And then we'll add a little pelvic tilt to this. So as you exhale, lengthen the low back along the mat while you draw the belly in. And when you inhale, relax the belly, pelvis tips forward, exaggerating your lumbar curve. As you exhale, draw belly in and up and lengthen the low back along the mat. Keep the shoulders, neck, and face relaxed. Couple more like that at your own pace. Inhale, soft belly, pelvis tips forward. Exhale, draw belly in and up and lengthen the low back along the mat. Getting nice and hollow in the belly and real strong in the transverse abdominal muscles. Relaxed on inhale, belly soft, pelvis tips forward. Exhale, draw belly in and up, lengthen the low back along the mat. I'm going to add on to this and get into a bridge pose here. So we'll tuck the shoulder blades toward each other. You can have your arms be bent or straight, but the upper arm bone is right alongside the rib cage. If you have a prop under your head, you should take it out for this pose so you have nothing under your neck. And then as you exhale, draw the belly in, lengthen the low back, and press into the feet to lift the hips up. And then keep the belly toned. Inhale into your upper chest, expanding a little more into the back bend. And then as you exhale, slowly roll down one vertebra at a time, drawing the belly in to lengthen the low back along the mat. When you get the hips down, relax the belly, breathe in. Exhale, draw belly in and up, press into the feet, slowly lift the hips up. When you get up there, inhale into the upper chest, keeping the belly toned, and then use the exhale to slowly roll down one vertebra at a time, drawing the belly in along the way. Relax the belly for the inhale when the hips are down. Exhale, hug the belly in, lengthen the low back, slowly lift up. Inhale, expanding the chest and the side ribs, rooting down through the shoulders and the feet. Exhale, drawing the belly in, slowly rolling down the spine, one vertebra at a time. Feel free to do another one or two flowing in that way. And then if you like, we'll do a few breaths holding the pose. So you could lift up into the bridge, maybe snuggle the shoulder blades a little closer together, make sure there's no pressure in the neck. Low back feels nice and long, belly active, feet pressed down and shoulders and upper arm bones pressed down to lift the chest and the hips. And this is a great pose to strengthen the whole back body and the core and the legs. It's a great counter pose to too much sitting. Gentle extension of the spine here, opening the front of the body. So feel free to take another few breaths here. Enjoy the breath movement through the whole body, and whenever you feel complete with this, you can draw the belly in and slowly lower back down. When you get the hips down, just rest for a moment. It might feel good to hug the knees or sway the knees. And then we'll get in a gentle hip opener here. So we'll have the left foot down and the right ankle crossing over the left knee, flexing the right foot, rolling the right thigh open, and then you can bring the left leg up toward you. And you might decide just to put the left foot on a block as a more mild variation, or just leave the left foot on the floor. If it feels good, you can use your hands or your strap or scarf around your left leg, flexing the right foot so there's no knee discomfort. Low back relaxed, shoulders relaxed, neck relaxed. We're looking for a gentle stretch in the right hip. And feel free to take a few more breaths here. When you feel complete with this, slowly release. Take a moment to pause. And we'll do the left side. Left ankle over right knee. Flex the left foot. Roll the left thigh open. And then maybe bring the right leg toward you. Keep relaxing shoulders, neck, and face. Keep low back relaxed. The flexion in the left foot you should maintain so that there's no knee discomfort. No low back discomfort, gentle stretch in the left hip. Enjoy the different experience of inhaling and then of exhaling. When you feel complete with this, slowly release. Take a moment to pause. And then we'll roll over to the left side. And we'll come to lie on the left side. Had to check my time there. Lying on the left side, you can put your hand under your head, or it could be a prop or blanket or cushion under your head instead. And then you can take hold of your right knee, maybe slide the hand there down to the ankle or the foot, or you can use a strap or belt around the foot and hug that right heel toward your right sitting bone. And draw the low belly in and up so there's no strain in the lower back. No pain in the knee either. You can always move the foot a little to the left or right to make sure your knee feels good, and feel free to use a strap if it feels too much to hold the foot with the hand. Pubic bone toward navel, low belly in so low back stays long. And then to get into the front of your hip, press your foot away from your seat and start to draw the whole leg back in space gently. Now we could roll that right shoulder up and back, opening the chest. So now you're getting a stretch in the front of the left hip and thigh and the front of the shoulder, creating a gentle warmth in the back body. And enjoy your breath here. And then slowly, as you're ready, release. Pause and rest for a moment. Going to get a rotation in the spine now, and then we'll do both of these things on the other side. So the knees are stacked. You're resting on your left hip. You could have a blanket or cushion between your knees to be more gentle, or you can just leave the knees stacked as they are. If you want an even deeper stretch for your right hip, you might wrap your right leg around your left, just as an option. Then your left arm is going to come out from under you, and we'll start to turn the upper body open to the right. As you open your upper body to the right, you'll make a little scooch of your left shoulder and your head to the left so that it's easier to rotate to the right. If you've had surgeries or sensitive in the right shoulder, you could leave your right hand on your hip to be most conservative. You could even put a blanket or cushion behind your right shoulder or your upper back. If you're feeling good in your right shoulder and you want to go a little further, you could take the right arm straight out to the right. You might even consider bending the right elbow like a goalpost, which is a deeper stretch for the chest. Again, only go as far as feels comfortable to you. We should never have any pain in the practice. Once you're in the twist, feel free to take a few more breaths, enjoying the movement, the inhale expanding the body, the exhale helping you to let go a little more into the twist. Listening to the breath with the whole body. When you feel complete with this, you can either come back to your back or back to your side. And then we'll make a transition over to the right side. And you could have your head on your arm or on a prop. And then we'll take hold of the left foot or ankle. You can always use a belt or strap around the foot. Hug the heel toward the seat. Lift up from your low belly, keeping the low back nice and long. And stretching the front of the thigh by hugging the heel toward the seat. Relaxing neck and shoulders. And then to go into the hip flexors, you could start to press the foot away from the seat, creating a little space for your quads. And also as you press the foot away from the seat, that helps to lengthen the low back. And then you could arch the back and take the whole leg back a little further, rolling that left shoulder back, opening through the front of the left hip and thigh, and the front of the left shoulder and chest area, gently warming the whole back of the body. And enjoy your breath here. And whenever you feel complete, release, rest for a moment, and then we'll get our twist. So knees can be stacked. You can pad between the knees to make it a little gentler for your low back, or you could possibly wrap your left leg around your right. As you go to twist to the left, your right arm and shoulder have to make a little scooch to the right so that your crown of your head ends up aligned with your tailbone, and the head itself has to scooch slightly to the right as well. And then we can more easily rotate to the left. And again, your left arm could be hand on the hip to be most gentle, or out to the side a little below the shoulder, or out right at shoulder height, or for the deepest variation, out to the side and then bent at the elbow. And we're looking for ease in this pose. So once you find the amount of stretch and twist that feels good to you, then we just let go and enjoy the breath movement through the whole body. Receiving on inhales, letting go into the twist on the exhale. Whenever you feel complete, you can slowly come out, and then we'll come back to the back. If you have any other instincts, it's always good to listen into your body's natural impulses. So if another hug of the knees feels good, or another stretch out overhead feels good, or maybe another lateral bend, getting a little more length in one side and then the other, feel free to explore a little bit. And then we'll settle in to do a brief relaxation. You could do this with your legs straight out along the mat, or you can put cushioning underneath your knees. You could even, if you have a chair available, place your calves up on a chair to be a nice, easy position there for your hips and your low back. That can feel really great. Or you could use a couch or a coffee table or something potentially. So make sure you get as comfortable as possible. And you could close the eyes, or you can gaze at a steady focus point. And in this final relaxation, we invite the entire body to rest. So in this last minute here, we're really honoring the whole body, really every cell in the body, with the invitation to relax. We're letting go of tension from the crown of the head all the way down to the feet, from the outside of the body all the way in. We're resting into our natural breath so we can let go of any control of the breath and just be here resting with an easy inhale and exhale, appreciating your body's innate wisdom and keeping you in balance and harmonious relationship with the space around you by bringing just what you need in as you inhale and releasing just what you need to release as you exhale. And through this practice, not only do we relax the muscles of the body, but we also calm the nervous system. And in calming the nervous system, we are really inviting all of our systems to be in their most easy function. So it truly is an invitation to every single cell in the body to be easy and to be resting here. And just enjoy relaxing and resting for another minute here. Going to chant a mantra for you as you rest. And this mantra means we honor the goodness and the wisdom within ourselves that is always present, never absent. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Shanti 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 Om. We honor the goodness and the wisdom within ourselves that is always present, never absent. You can rest as long as you like. And when you feel ready to wake back up, you could deepen your breath and start with little movements and eventually roll to your side and eventually come to sit. But don't feel any rush here. And Shanti, peace to all of you. And Namaste, which means the light or the goodness in me honors and bows down to that in you. Thank you so much.